What up? What up? Welcome into Pregaming here on Sports Money. We got Thursday, June the 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern. Hope everybody's having a glorious Thursday. We're on the way to the weekend. Thursday connects to Friday, and then we are in weekend mode. I hope you guys are as ready as I am. Man, I hope you guys aren't sweating like I am, man. It has been hot today. H-O-T-T hot. That's how hot it's been out there today. Man, whew. Makes me sweat just thinking about how hot it's been out there. Hope everyone's having a good day, though. We've got a ton of afternoon baseball that just capped off here with the Royals taking down the Oakland A's 3-2 in that spot there. Had that first five under. Kind of piggybacked off of Troy's tweet there. Troy Torrance cashed that under 7.5, so good for him. We got our ribeye play of the day in the second inning from our guy Ryan Mountcastle. Mount up. He got it done out there. 11-5 right now. The Orioles are whacking them Yankees. I wonder if there's any value in the Yankees on the money line. Is there any chance they come back in this thing? Probably not. Probably not, but should be a game. Boy, we have ourselves a little card today. 2 games on the MLB slate. We've got the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals in Rickwood Field. Birmingham, Alabama, the oldest public professional stadium in Major League Baseball, underwent significant renovations that we will be talking about very shortly. That's going to pop off at 7:15 p.m. Kind of a solo isolated game out there. And then at 9:40, the Milwaukee Brewers, the San Diego Fathers out there. We'll talk about that game as well. We got action in both those spots. You know, we've got one WNBA game. One. Just a solo spot out there. The New York Liberty, the LA Sparks. Talked about whether or not, 3 games. Do we go live? Hell yeah, we go live. I'm taking some action tonight. I'll share with you guys what the action looks like. I know we're in them dog days of summer, but man, we came off of a firing night last night. We pushed our Cleveland in the under, but we won our Cleveland bet. Minnesota gets the somewhat gets her done for us out there. Houston, easy, no sweater. The Angels blew it, but the Aces got the job done for us in the WNBA. So why not take some of that cash? Why not take some of this afternoon money? And why not find a way that we can get paid tonight? So we'll have some action. I've got a prop and a side in the WNBA. And then I figured I'd throw a couple other spots out there here tonight, just if you're looking to try to scout some action. We'll do a quick update in the PGA. You guys know this weekend there is big combat sports taking place here. We've got the PFL that starts tomorrow. That'll go right through about 12:31 a.m. We also have game number 6. So why not talk a little bit about some NHL goal scoring props? Then we got the big Saturday afternoon UFC card. Bellator working simultaneously with the UFC. Doesn't make any sense to me, but that's why you're number 2. Number 2 meet number 1. That's the way it goes out there. So we'll have a ton of fun with that. And then it's going to be an interesting little Saturday night. Might be a little relief out there. We've only got, I think, a 14-game Major League Baseball card on Saturday as well. But nonetheless, I wanted to share with you guys a couple of PGA opportunities as well. We're just about to come to a close on the first round. Let me just double check. I am superstitious, so I don't want to jinx it, but let me just check here. Let me just check here and see what's going on in the PGA. And he does it. He does it. Shout out to Mr. Gokster at Gokster99. Comes in with the big golf contribution for the week. And what could be bigger than our guy coming in, giving us great golf content? How about a 45-1 first round winner? Tom Kim. He said, I see all you guys at 6 under in the pack. Screw it. Let's just go over the top and take first place. And that's what they did out there. Shout out to Mr. Gokster. 45-1. He had just under a half a unit on that, but he smashed the first round leader dividends there. Check him out on Twitter if you guys haven't seen how he breaks down the approach for the game. He got it done. He fired. He had just under 4 units, I believe, on this first round. Half a unit going to Tommy Kim and picks up that 45-1 cash. So you do the math. That's a huge profit. In fact, the rest of his weekend for PGA is on the house. He is literally playing with house money and he's got a whole bunch of top 10, top 20, top 30 finishers. He's got free swings for a bunch of outright leaders, and he's got himself opportunities with the golf round 72-hole matchups. Hope you don't sleep on that, man. I hope you guys aren't sleeping on what's going on. This content that we're dropping out there for you guys. Oh, you want to talk about some content? How about First Strike? First Strike's out there. The line has moved in 3 of the 4. Actually, the line has moved in all 4 of the games that we talked about, all 4 of the fights that we shared with you guys. So get out there and check that content out. Just because it's a light night tonight doesn't mean we don't have homework to do to get paid tomorrow. We got to put the work in today to reap the rewards the next. You guys know that's how this thing works here. There are no shortcuts, but some great things happening around the world of sports money. And did want to shout out at Gokester99. Tremendous effort out there, 45-1, cashing that first round leader. First time on the video takes there. We got Capper's Corner, and Gokester comes through, fires the heat. Guys, I appreciate you coming out here tonight. We'll keep it short and sweet to the point for you guys because there are just the 3 games. We'll talk about some of these other spots as well. But we're going to get you guys back there enjoying your evenings tonight. Thursday, as I mentioned, is right around the corner from the weekend, so you might as well get ready now. Make sure you get them chores done. We got that early schedule Saturday. The honey-do list has to get taken care of before we go out there and make that cash on Saturday. So hit that thumbs up button if you guys are just getting in. Show the support for us on all the content that's out there. I love you guys including comments in the videos. You don't know how much that helps. Doesn't matter what the comment is. It's tremendous. The more connectivity, the more community, the more comments that go into these videos and these broadcasts that get put out there, these podcasts, the more it helps us crack this code. This code is that 6 p.m. market, trying to get sports money off the ground, trying to get pre-gaming in the limelight as well. So respect all you guys coming in there. It means a ton to see you guys doing it on the regular. I think we've got the UFC fight videos up to 14 comments now. You get the opportunity to check it out. It's about 15 minutes long. We got 4 fights over 2 MMA events, both the UFC and PFL. And it's a 3-fight breakdown by Subhuman Gaucho, MMA Jeff, and myself. And throw a comment out there. Let's see who you guys like as the winners of any of these MMA events this weekend. Doesn't matter if it's PFL, Bellator, UFC, bare knuckle, 1 fight championship, whatever it is. Kickboxing in my own backyard. I mean, shit, if you guys want to bet on it, we'll get some lines on it. Let's go. Get that thumbs up button, get the pen and paper out, and get ready to write down what our chat is sharing with us tonight. Again, it's a tight card. Maybe you can commit it to memory. It's a really tight card, but throw your plays out there as well. Let's see what you guys are on. Plenty of time to recognize it tonight, and respect all you guys coming out there to hang out. So let's, in fact, do just that. Let me get up to date on what I'm trying to do here. Hang on. And there it is. There it is. All right. We might get a special appearance tonight by our guy. I'm not going to put him on the spot, but he may very well come in. I said there was 3 games tonight. I'd take some time off, but he wants to share how he's getting paid, so why not get the opportunity to connect as well? Let's see what you guys are doing out there in the chat. My God, my brother from another mother, Joe T, in the house. What up? Of course, he's the first commenter. And respect what Joe T's doing there. Look what he's got. The Brewers Padres over 8.5. But what more? I know personally, he went through there and scrubbed his last 13 plays. So we are 14 episodes deep now of pre-gaming. And he went out there 13 episodes deep to come up with this record for you guys. 8-4 on the Joe T hammer bomb play of the day. I don't know. It's Joe T's best bet is what it is. And the guy's firing 8-4 plus 3.4 units since pre-gaming started. Respect, Joe T. Great job, and always appreciate you coming and sharing your best efforts here today. Picks from Dave's in the house. Just hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Well said, Dave. Well said indeed. There's my guy, Razor. Razor Sharp Picks, the second best intro on the sesh. The second man, he might be in trouble. He might be on to the third now because that Say Hey Jose video is pretty catchy. We already know who's got the number 1 spot, but shout out to Razor Sharp Picks coming in there. And Justin McKelvey, talk about heating up. We talked about this just a couple days ago. Said, man, what is it, 6, 7? It was 8. Now he's on to 11 straight winners with stacks. The play of the day from Justin McKelvey. He gets there. He gets there, and it was even money today. How about that? The Yankees over 4.5. Oldies in the house says Justin McKelvey. I was never in doubt. Pretty work. Justin McKelvey says Oldie. Fireworks in that game. Yeah, there has certainly, but that's second inning. Mountcastle plus 185. Ribeyes all around. Let's go get that money too. Justin McKelvey says never in doubt. Pretty work. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Cleveland money line for our guy Coin. Here we go. Cleveland money line and the alternate run line plus 185 was a thing of beauty. He got some nice cash this afternoon. Oldie says Justin McKelvey didn't get a chance to cap today, but on the Rays, Arozarena profitable, and I've been tying him to Diaz if the slipper fits. The foot getting plus 170 consistent. It's an interesting look. So let's look at that. Rays, Arozarena, and tying it with Diaz. And he's catching plus 170s. I like it. I like the move. Anytime you can turn these juice bombs out there and make them profitable or plus money spots, you're in good company. Let's go, Keith. Each and every strides in the house says, hey, Mike, hope you cash tonight. I like the Goldschmidt to get an RBI at plus 125 from our guy, Keith. Shout out, Keith. It's good to see you, Keith. Plus 125 for Paul Goldilocks Goldschmidt. Let's go. See if them bats are swinging tonight. Keith, each and every side says, oh, shit, says Oldie. It's a party now. Hope you're doing well, sir. Keith's getting his shout-outs from Old E. Justin McKelvey says, Oldie, I'm big on C. Yelich over 1.5 bases tonight. Certainly looks like the opportunity for that lefty-righty situation with these pitchers is going to present itself tonight. Good luck on that. Cameron Sinet says, Royals cash. God damn, that was sweaty. Yeah, it was. It was. First 500. I had the plus 1.5. I had a plus 1.5 in there. I sprinkled the money line. I'm a fucking degenerate. What am I going to say? I'm a glutton for punishment, but it was the half unit, full unit play. I like to see that stuff out there. It was just too big a number. Too big a number. Oakland's not that bad. They're bad. They're not that good, but they're not that bad either. Let's go, you guys. Oldie, Justin McKelvey, my guy. Cheers, brother. Winner Circle says, hey, yo. Here we go. The Liberty money line. Hamby under 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists for our guy. Winner's Circle coming in here, rocking for you guys on the regular. Hey, yo, Winner's Circle. Thanks for coming in, sharing your action, my guy. We appreciate you as always. Oldie says, Justin McKelvey, do it for the people. Cameron Sinet's in the house. Morning cards done. Yeah, yes, it is. Or his cards, meaning the Cardinals. I'm not sure. I see the brooms. Cliff Gang says, let's go, Big Mike. Let's go, Cliff Gang. Let's go. We were talking about you last night. Cliff Gang, in a good way. We're laughing about what the 10-unit play of the weekend is going to be with MMA Jeff. So we were talking about the 10-unit play. JPZ says, what up, motherfuckers? Yankees getting their shit pushed in. Absolutely. Peasy. Shout out Peasy had that busting it down. He went old school out there. Laying down that PSR track this afternoon on Twitter. Dug into the archives. I didn't hear any pimp slap in there, Peasy. I didn't hear any pimp slap. Let's get to work, you guys. Appreciate everybody rocking with us today here. I see Nasty Nate's in the house. Says, let's get paid. Ricky Bobby says, keep stacking them wins, my guy. Justin 11 straight. Shout out to him. And happy birthday to Kogi Cam, our guy. Another year wiser. And speaking of wise men, why don't we bring in our guest? There's no days off. Money never sleeps. Neither does this guy. Appreciate him coming in, even on a short card, saying, you know what? Let's talk some cash. Let's get some money. Let's bring on Miggity Mac Daddy in the house, baby.
Mikey. What up? Thursday.
Man, we got
short card.
We got a day today, huh? How's your afternoon?
Yeah. It's all right. I saw you cashed on Mountcastle, which is nice. I had the Orioles last night, and I wish I was right back on them. But it's all right. I have Lope. He just got a double, so that was good. I cashed his over 1.5. And a few guys, I went back to Witt. He had an RBI for me yesterday. He went yard, which I didn't expect, but our guy McMahon goes yard too. There.
I saw that.
I was like, God damn. Day after these guys cash. There's only Simeon did it the other day where I took him like a week ago. He didn't get it done. I've never seen something like this year where I had a guy and the next day come through. No bullshit. Like I'm almost like these guys don't do it because it just keeps on rolling. It's been pretty crazy. Rutschman had a good day. I don't know if he's had an RBI, but he's like 3 for 4 because I had his RBI. But congrats on the Mountcastle, my man.
Yeah, that was a nice one. I dropped in on his home run as well, so I can't be too excited. Now, granted,
but the home run, your bet's the RBI. I mean, that's your main, that's your bet. So yeah, I mean, we're just a little cheese on the homer. That's how I always take it.
Yeah, I think it was like plus 700 or something like that I saw out there. I was like, I'll take a sprinkle on that too. Especially, I don't know what they were looking at with the plus 185s, but we'll take it. We'll run with it. Our guy Big Scott's got a parlay out there for us here. 2-leg parlay says Matt Chapman over a half of runs, RBIs, Yelich over a half of base out there for a nice plus 140 spot.
We'll get to him. I am on him. So whoever just put that.
That was our guy. Big Scott 510. Big Scott 510. Giving us a plus 140 look. I love these guys trying to find these creative ways. Small cards. And they get an opportunity to come out there and share these plus money spots to get it done. So it's always exciting to see. Our guy Gonzo's in the house. What up, Mike? It's good to see you.
Oh, shout out to my guy Gonzo. Hell yeah.
Kelly B. How about Justin McKelvey with the stacks play of the day? C-Mac, 11 straight bombs for this guy here. Justin McKelvey.
It's beautiful. The runs are amazing. He puts in the hard work, and it pays off. You're going to have those runs like that. They're just wild. And, it's always great.
He was due to bust through. I've been watching what he's been doing. He was, a couple games over 500, a couple games under 500, back to over, back to under, back to over. Slouched and then took off like a bandit. And that's grinding. That's how you grind. That's the way you do it.
For sure. Those streaks are really, really good, especially when you get into double digits. It's always tough, I've seen, when you get to 20. Because I've got to there just a few times. And, that gets wild. If you can start going after 20, crazy run. Yeah.
You get to 15 or 16, and then your head starts playing tricks on you. So
true.
Stay mentally composed, Justin McKelvey. We don't want to put that on you, but
he's good.
Yeah,
everything's good. Shout out to my man. I appreciate it.
He says not easy. Well, I'll tell you what's not easy. Trying to figure out how to get cash on these 2 Major League Baseball games and 1 WNBA game. Now there is also this soccer game going on here with Canada and who the hell is Canada playing? I don't have any action in it yet. I'm sure I'll get there, but
I have no idea. Tell me about it, Mikey. You're the go-to.
I try to specialize in Mexican soccer. That seems to be my forte here, but these qualifiers have been tricky. Earlier today you see that Italy can't find a way to get it done, and like one of the most popular bets was both teams to score in that game, and Italy just finds a way to come up short. But I'm just trying to pull the game up right now here as I'm looking across this thing here. The Copa America, Argentina and Canada, 8 p.m. tonight. I saw Argentina was minus 340. Clearly the favorites out there. Canada, though, Canada surprised everybody last year when they got that qualifier in the CONCACAF. Is that how you say it? The CONCACAF. And was able to make some headway out there. But I think Argentina is going to be too much of a mess. Argentina's got Lionel Messi on the squad. Let's not forget what this guy, he might be old, but doesn't mean he's not still effective out there. And I don't know about Canada. McAllister maybe is a guy to consider or concern yourself with out there. But to me, it just felt like this was an opportunity for scoring. I think Argentina really kicks the shit out of Canada here. Probably maybe like a 3-1 type of game. So I was leaning to the over in this game, just kind of at first glance. But Skunk Blaster's in the house. He's under 2.5 goals. Canada game plus money. Yeah, I do see the under 2.5 at plus 105. Nothing official for me yet there. That's 8 p.m. I'll keep my eyes on this thing, and maybe I'll tweet something out there if I'm gonna jump into it. But we are there. We are at that point of the summer, C-Mac, where you got to grind a card just to find something that's actually playing tonight. And
true.
We do have a big battle going on down there, of course, in Birmingham, Alabama. I don't know if you buy into any of this hype when they do these fucking games where they're playing at these. I mean, the Cornfield game was pretty cool. The Field of Dreams game was pretty cool. But the first time when it was the Yankees going out there and doing their business, but it got a little, especially what was it last year? The Cubs and the Cardinals. And they were both shit in the bed at the time, I believe. Now we got this Birmingham thing, though. We got Birmingham, Alabama, the oldest professional stadium in North America, I believe, Rickwood Field. And, some may not realize recent renovations to turn this thing into a hitter-friendly park. Crazy. They were talking about the dimensions, and they kind of started measuring them out. Just in some of the brief research I was doing there, they compared it to, probably two of the most hitter-friendly ballparks out there, in the U or in baseball today. We're looking across this thing, and we saw that, kind of compares to what Kansas City's got going on and what Cincinnati's got going on, just in terms of the dimensions. Those two ballparks are 8 to 10% higher in terms of expected runs per game than it is across the board. And we do see a lot of homers in Cincinnati. We do see a lot of homers in Kansas City as well. Not today. But generally speaking, from a dimensions perspective, Kauffman Field and Great American Ballpark are the two that kind of fit this dimension the closest, if you will. And that led a lot to think that there were going to be runs. We got a game that opened up with 8.5 has moved to 9. 95% of the bets and 91% of the cash on the over. And we got everybody pounding on these Giants. Minus 130 has now moved to minus 102, a favorite to a dog situation on these Cardinals. 59% of the bets and 58% of the cash on the Cardinals. And reverse line movement. Can you trust Win at 6.67? Because he does anything but win with a 3.7 win-loss record. I came up with that just off the top of my head, C-Mac. And then on the other side of things, we've got Palante, 4.61 ERA, 2 and 3 on the season. I think when I see Palante, I mean, that's pretty much associated with probably a bullpen game here for the Cardinals. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, we'll see here with this. The dimensions of the park, I think, are fine. I think we're going to see runs in this game. The wind's barely nothing here, 5 or 6 coming in. I don't buy that. Yeah, in the field, 1910, something like that, one of the oldest ballparks there, and it's all normal. I do think we get runs in this one. Shout out to everyone in here. Kelly, Fernando, Sabim, and Gaucho. Shout out. Yeah, Gokster in the golf picks. Hey, I hate to Shambo. That was a sweat of all. And I had top 10 and 20 with a few guys. So I had amazing golf, which, man, blessed. I needed it. But Skunk Blaster, all you guys, Sancho, Razor, my dude, Old E, Justin, Big Scott. Shout out to all you guys. Yeah, one thing with Win here, Mikey, he came out really, really well to start the year. And I kept going back like, wow, his stuff's been really good. Because I kept looking at him like, this is the guy who went 0-6 last year in the minors, which is fucking god-awful. Yeah. So, like, the regression is coming for him. And I haven't been against him enough. I think he's due to maybe pitch all right in this game. You mentioned a lot of love, at least early here. I think the problem is the Willie Mays at first, because this went down Cardinals, this line dropped with them. Now it's bounced back up a little bit, just a little bit of movement with his passing. But I'm no big Andre Pallante fan, and he's been good this year. Only the few starts he got roughed up against the Stros where he gave up 6 runs. But I think we get runs in this game. And I've been on the Cardinals a bunch of late, but I think this is the Giants. On the sidewise, I'd be on the Giants in this game. And if we get runs, how do we not go to a few props here? Ramos finally had a few offers here. Guy's just been tearing the baseball up. Seems like a great spot. RBI, I know he's in the 2-hole. It doesn't matter to me. I looked at Bailey a little bit. I don't want Chapman. And he hits righties well, so Bailey does too. But Ramos, the RBI is plus 210. The homer's like plus 825. So the RBI, I had to take a piece of that. And the homer's plus 825. On the other side, I think Wynn could give up some runs in this one. Goldschmidt finally hit again. Someone put that in the chat earlier. Who was that?
Yeah. I'll have to go back and look.
Not crazy, but the average is ticking up a little bit. Finally, 2 homers in the last 10.
It's Keith, each and every stride. Our guy Keith likes Goldschmidt, RBI plus.
Yeah, 1. Definitely. The RBI is good as over 1.5. I don't mind that. Few other guys he was sick I want to look at too is Wynn and Burleson. And why I like Burleson is because against a righty here, Mikey. And he's another guy in the 2-hole. So if you like the over 1.5, I don't mind. But his RBI is plus 180. I believe his jack's plus 6 something. He's been really, really good. This is a big dude that hits jacks, and he's been better. Even a guy like Donovan, who's kind of all or nothing, especially lately. It's like, hit, he's hit a homer just the other day, ton of zero. But this guy, kind of the same thing, but 268, 10 home runs. This is a perfect pitcher to see. This year he's hit 294, 7 homers, while against lefties, he's hitting only 206 with 3 homers. Classic, doesn't hit lefties too well, lefty on lefty, a left-handed hitter, but he hits righties well. So I like Burleson. I think I've had a little bit of problem just with the Cardinals catching the right guy. Whether it's Arenado or Goldschmidt, they were so shit early on, props-wise. I mean, Mason Wynn kind of blew up there, and I've only been on him once or twice when he kind of was red hot to start the year. He did, like I said, just had an illness, but he's back. But I see some runs in this one. Does it go over? I don't know. In this park, it's going to be great to watch. But I'll take a piece of those guys. Their RBIs in this game. And I'd lean Giants.
I know a lot of Giants love out there. Shout out, I know the razor sharp pick. Fucking razor gambler's first glance, I think, is all over San Francisco, if I recall.
Oh, yeah?
Morning.
Nice. Okay. Nasty Nate.
I don't know that I can do it. I'll tell you, it's exactly why I'm struggling with my ability to do it. First of all, it seems like every time I bet the Giants, I just take a big fucking L.
They're tough. They're not a very good baseball team. They don't hit. One thing, too, I don't like to go too much off last year, Mike, and too much into that crazy stuff. Giants own their ass. 6-1. Beat the fuck out of them in the 7 meetings last year. This little side note.
And this is one of those games that, we're still talking about the runs and the projections. Originally, when I looked at this game early, I thought the wind was coming in a lot stronger. So this weather forecast must have changed.
I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, I mean, what do you have? I have like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
slightly in.
That's basically what I'm seeing right now as well. Is slight in. And originally this morning it looked like it was going to be a little more aggressive, especially with the cash coming in on the over, and not seeing that line movement. Now it's pinged up to 9 now, so obviously they're coming back against that number. So definitely a little pause or reason for concern, I guess, as it relates to it. But when I look at just the lineups and its simplicity in its most simplistic form, Keaton Wynn. I mean, look, I've been wrong before, but this guy's got a 9 ERA over his last 3 games. He's fucking terrible. He's terrible.
Been wrong.
And Palante. This is gonna be the game where he's gonna need a little help from his friends, is what it's gonna come down to. So if he gets through the order once, I don't think they need to leave him in there too long. Let everybody else get some experience. Let everybody else get a little time in the game at Birmingham, Alabama. And
he's not a guy to see the order the 3rd time.
No, there's big time fucking issues. But strip it back and I look at these two guys. Between these two teams, there's only 3 guys that have seen pitches. Well, I guess there's a couple more that have seen it, but generally speaking, there's 3 guys that have made any contact against these pitchers on both sides of the squad. Now it's because there's some young guys and bullpen guys. I get all of those factors in there, but when I start balancing that out there and I start thinking, okay, well, where are the runs going to come from and who's going to get it? I like the Goldschmidt look. And wouldn't surprise me that our guy Conforto's a guy that comes out there and figures out a way to get it done as well. But San Francisco against righties, they're whopping a 197 out there. St. Louis against righties is hitting at a 260 out there right now.
Been a lot better
for me that just said,
I
think they're just basic elements of the hitters are more consistent, and because these pitchers are both really bad, I wanted to go with the stronger team that's out there. Furthermore, we got an 0-23 spot. 0-23 when the team's in the last game of a series looking for a sweep and the line's longer than a -133. We've also got the Cardinals in a 15-2 spot after a game with no walks. So the Cardinals, the Cubs, and the Mariners are 3 teams that combine for a 15-2 spot this season after they have a game with no walks the previous. So I'm going to fade away. I'm going to fade that. I'm going to jump in that 0-23 spot. I'm going to roll into this thing here. And I like the fact that it's now even money for me. I can take it up 100. I get a nice big ROI opportunity from this thing, get most of my cash back, and then maybe a little sprinkle if I find a way that they're down at that point. So I'm going to take this St. Louis team. I'm going to take them at even money.
I get it. Hit me with it again, though. This is the start of a new series. Is that what you were saying? You meant? You were saying to end the series? I just might have maybe misheard you.
Did I say that wrong? I might have said
that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I think that's all.
Maybe it's the first game back.
Start the first game after. Okay. Because, yeah, they just played the Cubs.
Excuse my note taking.
No. Hey, I was just I was making sure what I heard right. That's all, baby.
You got to keep me accountable. I'll start spouting shit off there. You got to make sure it's accurate. But
you can run, Mikey. You can. You got those stats, man, up in that dome piece. You can rip it. You can. I'm going to go
with 15-2 spot here. The Cardinals in this opportunity to get the job done. I just think better hitting, marginally better pitching, but better pitching, and we'll fade away. I see this San Francisco team go ice fucking cold when I need them, and today I need them to go ice cold. So we'll see if we can get that done out there. But that's good stuff. That's a lot. I think there's a lot to take in. Some great same game parlay options too. If you guys are looking to experiment or play around with something out there, then it's a good opportunity to certainly take a shot with some of these RBIs out there. And Keith, I saw Keith saying that he got plus 125 on the RBI for Goldschmidt. I see that thing at plus 165 right now.
Yeah, his over 1.5 is 125. The TB and the RBI is plus 165.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I like it though. Either one. You know what I like a little more with the RBI, and what's I went to. I love him in the 3-hole. I hated him in the 2-hole. It just stopped kind of working where he was the years past. I think he should be, especially if he gets heating up there. But Burleson, Ramos, I'll have a piece about those guys. Not crazy bets, but I'll have them here.
I like this little angle that Big Scott's throwing out there too. How do we not take Brandon Crawford to smack an RBI against his old team? I think he's sitting around plus 200, if I recall appropriately. Let me just do a quick line check for you guys there. If you're considering, I love those angles. Sometimes to me, they're a little more heady than actually productive. It sounds good in my head. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get there in cash for us. But like Julks with the Houston angle there against the Astros. I don't think he did shit. Julkus, whatever.
Julks.
I was on him the other day. He didn't do shit for me. 225.
I cashed a homer with him like 2 weeks ago.
Bases?
RBI.
Oh, okay. RBI. He came out firing. He's good like one game per series. He finds a way to go out there and hammer it. Like absolutely 3 for 4, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, that kind of shit. And then he disappears for the rest of it. But Crawford, RBI plus 225 over at BetMGM. So if you guys are interested in that Crawford angle, it's actually dropped to plus 220. So that's always a sign that you like to see. 225 has moved to 220. Maybe I'll have to take a little taste on that. Let's roll. Let's go. We got one more game in Major League Baseball to talk to you guys about, and it's going to be the 9:40 special. It will be after this Giants-Cardinals game, unless they somehow go to extra innings because it's 0-0 or 1-1.
Yeah.
But we've got the Brewers and the Padres. And, I forgot who it was. I would shout him out, even though he was trying to break my balls and make me look bad. I told everybody how fucking bad this Padres team is. Now we got this line opened up here. The Brewers minus 122. It's moved to minus 104. 51% of the bets and 79% of the cash on this Padres. On this Brewers team. 51% of the bets, 79% of the cash. And it's got about 18 cents of line movement against the Brewers. The total's on the crime. 76% of the bet, 76% of the cash on the over. It's gone from 8.5s to 9s. And we saw that our guy Joe T play of the day, now 8-4, is on the over in this game here. He likes the over. We've got Mazur. Is it Mazur for the San Diego Padres? 7.82 ERA, 0-2 on the season. And then Wilson at 3.84 ERA, 4-3 on his season. What a battle we've got here at Petco Park. 70 degrees, slight wind at 8 miles an hour. And I guess probably the only thing we have to be concerned with is that marine layer they keep talking about. I think the marine layer plays a part here this late at night.
Oh, it definitely does at Petco Park. Yeah, and that one thing they're showing in this is that these pitchers could get hit, and everyone sees it. The travel spot for the Padres coming back here home. Brewers just going down the road, I-5, Angels to Petco. Both these teams rip righties, Mikey. Basically 1-2, during the season. That's what everyone's seeing. And both these pitchers could get hit. Mazur, he's not very good. And his problem is the walks. And he's had some starts where he's got around it here in the bigs this year, but he's still 0-2 with whatever it is, a 7-something ERA. But when you walk 4 guys, that's not going to fly, and he's not going to last starting at all. And that just sounds like, to me, as much as I am not the biggest Wilson fan, I think the Brewers have a little bit of advantage here. First 5, don't you? At a cheap price.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not crazy, but I was leaning to that heavy in this one. Bryce Wilson could get tattered too. I haven't trusted the Padres, but as we went through, hit righties a lot well, even better on the road, not as much home. And Wilson had a pretty good start. His last start against the Reds after getting just killed versus the Tigers, where he gave up 7, kind of a shitty hitting Tigers team. So I don't know. It seems like there's going to be runs in this game. If I were to look at the Padres, Profar is where I'd be with him. This guy's red hot. I don't take his props a lot, but I think he could be a guy to look at. And on the other side, when I was going through everything, on the Padres side too, Arise, just a little bit cold as of late. Nothing crazy. But Contreras, I always like him. And Yelich, I took it. He's very patient. And I thought the prices were well here tonight, Mike, whether it's always over 1.5 or that he's hitting 324, just been well lately. And another one, Rhys Hoskins. I love Willie Adames. He hit a homer the other day. I talk about a lot of all or nothing with him.
Yep.
And you could get that. So that's why I want to stay off. But Yelich, just been consistent, hitting the baseball great. So I'd look at the 2-3 there, Contreras or Yelich, and I'm on Yelich, like I talked about, the RBI plus 165. And I put a little bit on the over plus 550 in this game. And I like the Brewers. Just, I guess, I might have a bet on them here, first 5. I'm not crazy with Wilson. There could be some runs here. Maybe, maybe not. When I took it Petco Park is an under. It's just, I don't really want to go too crazy on overs. If you got an 8.5, that's where you want. I really don't want to go over 9. You'd have to really love it. And people are loving that with these 2 pitchers. But I don't want the total, I said. So the Yelich, and I'm thinking about the Brewers here, first 5.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting spot to me where I think Milwaukee potentially gets touched is, why don't they have more lefties going? They only have so many lefties. I guess they got the switch there with Blake Perkins.
Yeah, they don't have a ton.
Adam Missouri is fucking horrible against lefties. He's a 409, I think, on the season against these lefties right now. And against the righties with this spot there, a 154. Then on the other side of things, Bryce Wilson's in a similar situation. I do like that San Diego took the advantage and at least put, they got 1, 2, 3, 4 lefties and a switch in there as well. So Profar being that guy that you were just talking about, I think that's a great look here for this guy. 178 at-bats against Bryce Wilson, 56 hits, 5 home runs, 30 ribbies, and a 315 out there. Definitely the guy if I was going to play anybody on that. I like the Arise situation only because he has been cold.
Hey.
And
there's no, you don't gotta. I was just throwing it out there. I mean, I don't mind. Especially when he's ever anything, especially a little bit hot and he's over. We took it the other day, plus 120. That range is 1.5. I'm on it. You know what I mean? Like, because it should be priced that crazy. So we'll see. The Padres can get to him. This game was interesting. You like the Padres here?
No fucking way. Absolutely
not.
Okay.
I thought you were going that way.
I'm on the Brewers in this game for me. I jumped in on Milwaukee. First and foremost, a big spot that's been, pretty productive. And now you add in there, Kelly V made the comment about travel as well. San Diego cruising into this spot from the East Coast, and Milwaukee, I don't know how far it is, but from where I sit in New York, it's only right down the street.
Hour and a half. It's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive.
It's not that big a trip for these guys. Fucking it take me that much time to get to Buffalo from here. It's like nothing. And when you look at these things here, the spot that I love to get involved with here is an above average road team. So an above average meaning they're above 500 versus the team that's returning home in a spot where it's 139 and 92. The above average road dog team returning home, 139 and 92 in those spots out there. We got the Padres. First game of a series, if they're longer than a minus 126 and have no rest, they're sitting on a 5-26 spot as well. So, I don't know. For me, with this spot here, for this opportunity, I do know I want this Milwaukee team. But then I went back to it and I looked at this road. How about this one for you guys? San Diego Padres, game 1s at home. The road team is the play. Road teams versus San Diego in game 1s are 19-6. Ever heard something?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
It's been a little weird. They haven't been good at home and in opening games. Yeah, I saw that a while ago. Yeah.
Strange but true. 19-6, fading away on them boys. You're cashing, and we're getting a great number on it. The grandma is wearing your sister's panties again. Play of the day. It's hard to say that with a straight face, C-Mac. Is Milwaukee number 9? I got it earlier today at plus 300. Now this number's coming down, so I think that just is correlated to the fact that this total is starting to catch maybe some late steam on the under in this thing as well. I don't know how you're getting the over, and no disrespect to anybody that's getting there with this team. Maybe they get up going on and getting 100 runs. I just don't know who's going to do it, because anytime I count on San Diego Padres to do anything, they do nothing. And their number that they shoot for 3. It seems like they shoot for 3 runs in a game, and they figure we'll just go out there and try to play good defense and try to win 3-1. And that's how they end up winning and covering run lines, because when they win, they cover the run line. But when they don't, they certainly don't cover anything. They don't hit the team totals. They get nothing out there. So it's a fade spot. I'm jumping in. I got Milwaukee minus 104, and I've got the Brewers in the under 9. Shop around. Make sure you take a look. There's some same game bonuses and boosts out there as well. JP's, he says, hey, it doesn't take much to get me to fade the Padres. Oh yeah, me too. Kelly, he says, try and remember Baltimore in Thursdays. Good. Yeah, I'll have to pencil that one in there too. There were some great numbers for the Baltimore O's today, and some fades on the Yankees that got me to victory lane. But anyhow, there we go. I got the Brewers. We'll take them at minus 104. We'll take the Brewers and the under 9. And I'm going to sneak this one in for you guys here as well, because this game's going to start in about 18 minutes. I'm taking the LA Sparks. I know. It's a lot of points. The fact is, only 3 times this season have they not covered this many points or lost outside of margin in this situation. And all of those 3 times that it happened this season, they were all in a 10-day span. So it was just like a bad stretch of basketball for these ladies that they were getting kind of beat up and bludgeoned. On the other side of things, when you look at the Liberty, let me share with you guys, 89% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Liberty. The line's dropping. It's gone from 14.5 now 14. This fucking Orioles game is still going. Can you believe it? 16-5 right now. 89% of the bets and 73% of the cash on the Liberty. Why not? They've been beating up the Spark. Then we look at this total, and it's climbed 5 points from 162.5 to 167.5. All we can see from this side is that there's 72% of the cash on the over. And this is an opportunity for me. We cashed our WNBA spot last night. I think there's, last night's number for us. Remember, we talked about the re-addition, injured players coming back into the lineup for the first time. This is another tricky little spot. This Cameron Brink being out for the rest of the season, the Sparks are terrible. They're 4-11. But how about some of these counter narratives when you look at this thing here? First of all, the player coming out. How do you index a bad team and put enough points on it when the player comes out of this thing? Because that is the Sparks. They're sitting there at 4-11. They're not a great team against this Liberty that are 12-3. But look at the scheduling now. The Sparks, 5th straight road game. Kind of an interesting little situation. However, New York just coming off a lengthy road trip of their own. So, yeah, you know what? They're coming back home into a situation where they're not necessarily rested and benefiting from home cooking. At the same time, when you look at kind of some of these losses that the Sparks have had, they've been playing tough teams. Minnesota and Connecticut, probably 2 of the best teams in the WNBA anyways. And then you look at New York, 6-0. Oh, who have they played in their last couple here? Indiana and Washington? I don't know. Last couple of games have been good for this New York Liberty team, but I'm not buying it. The Liberty lost to the Phoenix Mercury the other day. 5-point dogs, the Mercury were. Bad Mercury team. They smacked the Liberty right in the mouth. I think it's an opportunity to jump in here and take the Spark spot. I think this is too many points. They're 0-3 against the Liberty last season, but 3-0 against the spread against the Liberty because they can't put enough points on it. A bad team is very difficult to index, and then you take out some key players. Now I think it's just overreaction from the bookmakers to get this thing done here. 14.5 points still available. Good damn money out there. And the better added caveat here, FanDuel does not have the best number on this game. That's always a big factor for me, C-Mac. How do you cap it? How do you quantify it? All I know is when FanDuel's got the best number, I take a big fucking L right to the head. And today they do not. They sit at 14 while everybody else has got 14.5s. Any WNBA thoughts? Anything about the Spark? They're bad.
They are bad, but some of these numbers are just really big. You're talking about in the WNBA. You mentioned Brink being out, which isn't good. This is one I think more because when I've looked at some of these WNBA games, it depends on the team. I'd want maybe first half. We talked about the aces sleeping and then kind of doing better, waking up and playing better, and covering Mike. We've even been on the last few weeks in some of their games. But I kind of think this is a full game where I want it just because the Sparks they've covered against New York. We know how good New York is with Stewart, Hamilton, all these Jones. They're very good. But, yeah, a lot of wins, no covers. And they haven't been good against them, but they've covered the number. I think it's a ton. If you get the 14.5, I take that for sure. Yeah. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and Cameron Sinet says the Sparks lost Cameron. Stewart's going to feast. Yeah, and I think that's why this is the opportunity. It's that first game with the star player being out type of theory. At the same time, the bookmakers struggle to index those things properly. I just think this is a trappy spot for the Liberty because, yeah, they should kick the shit out of them. But then you look historically, they cover the spread on a regular basis against them. And, again, the number comes back to the fact that the Sparks just haven't covered this number 3 times this season. And it was in that stretch of just really bad basketball. So they're not a great team by any stretch. Probably 2 games from now is a spot where we'll get back to fading them. Just think this is a good opportunity to take advantage of a potential soft market, a soft number with these lines. So we'll take it with fire.
Yeah, and on the road, it's competitive. Like the losses, some have just been out of this reach, like 19-point losses. And, at Connecticut, they lost by 9. That gets you the win. They lost by 13 at Atlanta. That would get you the win here. Like, they lost by just 5 to Minnesota. At Seattle, they lost by 16. That wouldn't. But they've been kind of enough where I think this is just too high.
Yeah.
I agree. I'd be on the dog too.
New York 6-9 on the season. 3 times in 15 games have they won anything by more than 13 points as well. And
yeah, the game earlier, real quick, was I thought Chicago would cover, and they did. Not that I went crazy. I mean, I know that was 3.5, 4, and they covered that game. So I have to ask Billy Briz. Maybe he was on that. I didn't know if he was today.
I look to Sabrina Ionescu as well for her under in the points, rebounds, and assist market for this game, just because she's been battling. She's gone over the number 4 times in a row. So it's one of those spots where you can try when we see the numbers move up consistently. Like we saw this with the NBA and Tatum spots out there. He goes from 22s to 26s to 27s to 28s. At some point, they just make it too high, and it's like they caught lightning in a bottle. Now this girl's caught it 4 times in a row. So you can catch this Ionescu under 29.5 points, rebound, and assist at a decent number as well. Sitting around minus 120 is a good spot to play on that as well. C-Mac, I got a couple other thoughts here I wanted to share. I'd love to see I'd love to get your take on this thing here, but let's talk about the NHL for a minute.
Come on. You had to bring that up?
It's a big game tomorrow. We're not going to talk about yesterday. We're going to talk about tomorrow. And we're not going to get into the sides and totals. I just wanted to hear, give me a player prop. Tell me something that makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you what
I tell me. I haven't actually gone crazy. Looked at the player props. So
yeah, I deliberately didn't spend a lot of time looking at it because you guys already know where I'm going to be. I don't need to look at the numbers and just start playing games with my head. But I did start looking at some numbers that I thought made a lot of sense here. And look, now more than ever, backs against the wall. You could argue that even Florida's backs against the wall to some degree because there's going to be a shit show if they take this L. And my point around that is this is when the star players have to step up. We saw Kachuk, right? We did talk about what happens when Edmonton goes up 3-0 in that last game and how are the guys going to live bet and attack it. Well, sure enough, Edmonton went up 3-0 in that game. But who came back and after, what was it, a 9-game or a 10-game scoring drought? Matthew Kachuk comes out there, gets a big goal out. Now, he played phenomenal as well. Nobody, seeing all those Connor McDavid moves where he's cutting up the field and he's moving in and he's zigging and he's zagging and everyone's just kind of watching in awe of what this guy's doing. But, Matthew Kachuk in his own right with that huge hustle to come back there and swat that goal that was going into the empty net out of there was impressive. I mean, he couldn't have timed it any better. If he took one less stride, that thing was a goal. I look at these two guys. I think that big game, big moments, big opportunities. These guys are priced appropriately. Connor McDavid's going to have to put the team on his back again. There's no reason he shouldn't at this point. He's done enough fucking around all year with the assists and helping elevate the rest of the squad. But this price is a little low for me. I'm not excited about a 135. I would think that you have to attack it probably 2+ points. On the other side of things, though, Matthew Tkachuk, if you like Florida to win, that's a great price for Matthew Tkachuk to score a goal because he's probably got to be the guy that goes and excels and elevates this team that's really, as much as they've been playing well and they've gotten where they have, let's be honest. It's a team that's been operating on one line all season long, C-Mac. What do you think about that?
Shout out to our guy, Wine Time. What up, my man? Good to see you. Yeah, Kelly mentioned that too. The game, they played just Saturday as well. So whatever happens in this game, which is a little weird. And is that game on the road too? That's not even. That's one of those weird things they've done in the NBA. Where you get 2 home games, same team within 3 days.
Yeah.
So that's one of those crazy. That scheduling is horrible.
That's called a shit team that doesn't, or a shit league that doesn't generate any money. And so what they got to do is they got to keep their travel expenses down.
Whoa. Bragging the WNBA.
I'm betting all over it.
Keep that down.
I'm all for the Caitlin Clark era, and I like Angel Reese. I just think that fact of the it's like AHL hockey teams. They don't make shit for money. So when they play these playoffs, they were doing the 2-3-2s. I don't remember the 2-3-2 process in the playoffs. Got to keep the overhead down. There's not enough cash coming in to keep the lights on, and the NBA is only subsidizing so much. So I get it, but shit spot.
Tomorrow, the line that we have out here is just 120 Oilers, right around even money for the Panthers. Is that what you have everywhere? Just about.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
DK's here, minus 118, 102. I wish it was better a little bit for the Panthers, like game 3, where it was 125. I have that 12-1 ticket on the Panthers. If the Oilers win, I did think I'd have to hedge. I might have to hedge game 7. Because that's the last time, when you would do it, I wouldn't want to do it. And for the most part, I let it ride. I don't know. Maybe I do. But to get out some money from my 12-1 ticket, which I have $300 on. So tomorrow, I don't know. If the Panthers win, they have to play their best hockey. But Rossi's got to be better. They're on 5-on-5. Flat out. We talked about it. Hands down. That was it. When I was on live with you, Mike, I had to dip. I ran and got 70. They won that game in the last 5 minutes of the second period. They did. Hands down. Skinner was great. Their shot. They were even in the start of the third. They didn't get a goal. Then it was 4-3 for the Panthers. Like 9-10 minutes into the third. But they won it there. I think in that second period, which was really, really big. So Panthers win, they got to lock it down, and I think it's more of an under. If not, if the Oilers win, I think there's going to be more goals, right? I think the game could get over. And it's weird because I always, too, really not going crazy on this under is elimination game type shit, the empty net, especially if you're down 3-1, you're yanking it 5 minutes or whatever, and it could get over. So, but I kind of lean under. That's what the Panthers, they have to play that hockey, basically, like they do, and will win 4-1, 3-1, 3-2. If not, Oilers are in it. I think they get some goals, and they get the Panthers ticky-tack penalties and score on the power play, which they did not the first few games, and it cost them. It really did. They had a few. It's not like they didn't have anything. They had those power plays, and top power play the last 5 years in the league. The best I've seen in a very long time. I mean, maybe I'm not going to say ever or anything like that, but, the last few years it's been really, really good.
Sure.
So they get those penalties and knock that in. McDavid, let's see if he's all business and can get it done. Your boy, the Ginge.
I said they're going to write a rule in the NHL after this season that there's a maximum. There's a do not exceed cap on the number of gingers that they can have on the team because that Edmonton team is loaded. And it's an unfair advantage. It's unfair to everybody else. I don't know what it is, but it is an unfair advantage. I was just looking at this. We'll talk more about it tomorrow, and kind of you guys will hear my thoughts on how this game's going to be attacked and frankly why I'm standing on the island.
I might be on a few props too. I'll let you. I just didn't really look at it today when you talked about. Sorry, I should have.
No, it's all good. I just figured I'd throw it out there. Just again, light schedule, so just something to get some folks thinking about this thing out there. Clearly the two top guys on the team. There's no real putting your neck in the chopping block here. I don't know that there's a wrong answer on either one of these guys. If you're looking for some plus money opportunities, watch how these lines move. Watch how they kind of matriculate through the course of the next 24 hours as we get closer to it. We'll talk more about it. I just wanted to toss that out there for a little fun. But here's what I did want to check in with you on here, because we did talk about our guy Gokster coming in there, giving us the Tommy Kim first round leader at 45-1. I think this kind of came out like shit on the screen, but essentially, I should have probably put these individually, but guess what I was looking at with this thing in terms of this golf event here? A couple thoughts. If you're looking for some action, you're an action junkie, you're trying to make some things happen. The big numbers, the first numbers, these guys to win the tournament outright. Paul Cantley was an option where there was just a ton of late night money last night. Literally at about, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning, I got a Steam alert that Paul Cantley just got fucking lit up across this. Like the sharps were coming in all over this guy buying, and it was 22-1 for him to win the tournament. So still value at plus 3,000. The thought that I was looking at there though was the top fives and the top tens, markets that, generally a casual bettor might overlook on these things, but check out some of these numbers for these guys, because, if you're Bezenhout, I know, Gokster talked about Bezenhout being the guy that's kind of tailor made for this course with the way that he plays the game.
Yeah.
But, he's 4 under right now. The leader's 8 under, so he's not that far out of the realm. He's 1 stroke away from being in 6th place. Well, look at what you can get his top 10 for. Plus 280 right now for Bezenhout. Plus 750 for this guy to roll into a top 5. I looked at Wyndham Clark, this fucking joker, making Team USA. He's got to feel pretty jacked up. That's a big high for this guy to be able to go out there and represent the country in the Summer Olympics. And, again, another guy that's sitting at 4 under, same spot as we're looking at with, Bezenhout, plus 800 for a top 5, plus 300 for a top 10. And then last but not least, I threw Thigala in there. I mean, he's probably the more of the longer shot now. He's 1 back on this thing. The leader's sitting at 8. So there's definitely a lot of movement, but anything could happen. And Thigala plus 110-1. Top 5 plus 1,400, top 10 plus 500. Some interesting numbers out there to get paid. When you approach golf, C-Mac, when you're trying to make your bets, I know you're a big golf aficionado out there. Do you ever look at these top 5 10s? Do you try to get involved with those?
Well, so I'm not a golf bettor from round to round and matchups. I've talked about that. Just I don't do it with the sports that we have. I don't really get involved unless I go through it. I'm like, wow, this guy as a dog, I do it, dabbling it, here and there. We'll just make a bet with those. So no, that's how I get through golf, really. And the last 4 years I've been spoiled where I've had these outrights right away, and I've hit 3 or 4 during the year, which have been really good. And this year it just hasn't happened. So keeping my golf bankroll going has been top 10s and 20s, even top 5s. And I don't do crazy amount on that. It's a little bit difficult, I've found, but I've had that too. Like a guy like Fee now. Like the guy don't win, I take him top 5, especially when you really get good value on it. So I love those bets. And then taking them after Thursday's round is the way to go, like you were saying, to get the value on some of these guys. I like it. So that's how I keep my shit going from week to week, cashing top 10s and 20s. Because when you hit the outright, especially something really big, like DeChambeau is good, but that's pretty low for me. I don't go lower than 15-1. For him to win 20-1 was great, especially because I hadn't had a win all year, an outright in my golf. So I was like, man, shoot, struggling. And I had a couple losses, playoff losses too. Been on was tough. There was a few, 2 of them that I didn't get. So yeah, from week to week, that's how I keep rolling. And keep going kind of top 10s and 20s, I think, to make my money. But everyone's different. But that's how I roll with it. And there's great value to bet as in the round and as it goes. You got to watch golf. One thing I've watched with golf, with everything that goes on, tells look, I play golf and my whole life I've done it. So it's always there. So it's like Saturday, it's like college basketball. I click it off and go right to the golf. I get back, go to golf. Like it just that's like commercial back to golf. So it's always been something that I watch consistently throughout the weekend. And, when you see these guys in and out all day. And there's good money to be made, like I mentioned, especially when you cash something like that.
Well, and I wanted to share those numbers. I appreciate the insight on it, too, because I wasn't a big top top 10, top 5 golf better until probably last year is when I started to really, and that's when I started to really see the uptick in the profit from. I don't bet a ton of, I don't like to have my money tied up for a future bet. I don't have my money tied up for 4 days.
I don't either. I'm not a crazy future bet for like the Panthers. The golf is crazy to me for 4 days, but for the most part, I just don't do it. Especially just like unless I really love like a wins. Let's say like baseball, like over 95 wins. Like no way. And that's not crazy 10-1. Like I don't want to sit on that.
Yeah.
Let's say $500, $1,000 for fucking 6 months.
Yeah.
To win that. So I get it.
You're losing money probably over the course of the investment, regardless of gaining it. Obviously the big score makes it a lot of fun, but I did notice that the uptick and I dabble. So, I did take Cantley as that when I saw that sharp steam report coming in 22-1. Now I'm kind of in a fuck spot because now what I got to do is I got to go back and I already took his top 5 and his top 10. But I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to stack the chips up a little bit more on Cantley now because at plus 180 for this top 10, I think I got it at minus 120. Let me look and see. Let me see what the number was that I got.
I'll hit on this. There's some great guys. I have Pendrith this week a top 20. Same thing with JT Poston. So it's been pretty good. My guy Seamus Powers there. I don't know if he could stay there all week. Corey Connors was a guy that his putter always gets him, but was in that range. I'm sure Gokster. We'll talk about that. These Canadian guys, like I'm mentioning. Mackenzie Hughes shot 500 today. Same thing. A little surprising with Patrick Rogers. I saw one guy that's jumped out was Kitayama. I hit with him last year a lot. Hasn't done him a bunch. Shot 600 today. So that was interesting. Not that I have him. But yeah, bunch of good players. Berg's there, 18 under. Sam Burns, Danny McCarthy, all the studs are there this week. Hovland, Cantlay, down the line, Lowry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some money to be made, and Bezenhout's the other guy that I took some opportunity with here. I saw my Cantlay top 20 was minus 130, so plus 180 now for the top 10. He's in striking distance. I mean, anything can happen with these guys. Yeah. Probably not so much for me with Theegala. I like Theegala. He seems to.
What did he finish? 1 under?
I think he's
or
1
even.
Under. Yeah, 1 under, I believe.
Oh, hey, one day I tell you, he didn't shoot himself out of it. You're fine.
Right.
Don't get great. Like, that's one thing. I've gone so high, unless you obviously the first round leader to cash huge, but your guy, he shoots 6 under, he's in 5th place, and then he shoots 74. Yep. He makes the cut, and then he just flounders out. That happens all the fucking time. So I try don't get too high with the goal. It's such a patient waiting game, and then try to find a spot even maybe live to get on, seeing how they're playing on a Saturday for that style of betting it.
I tend to treat the outrights more like the scratch off, and I remember I think the best one I had was like when Morikawa had his coming out party and he won the first round leader and then he won the actual tournament as well. And I think I had him, he was like around 60-1 on both spots.
I had his PGA. Yeah, I had his 55-1 PGA.
And it's few and far between. It's hard to hit that shit on the consistent, but that's where, we talk about volume betting and trying to kind of play the mathematics game, knowing where you have to strike to be able to get that cash. Now, a guy that's 1 under, and to see Mac's point about being out of the tournament, hell no. And plus 5, is he going to win the tournament? I mean, look, he's 110-1 for a reason. But 5-1 on a top 10 finish for the guy to be, just a couple strokes back from that top 10 mark is something to consider for you guys. So lots there to consider, lots to talk about.
And consider it real quick, Mike. Consider I like to be, the 6-shot range. Like anyway further, it's tough. That guy that's 2 over, and the leader's at 8 today. It's really 6. Kim's 2 above, Fowler and all the other at 6. But if you're in that 5 to 6 range, you're fine, especially after one day. Like it's tough when you get to your guys 9 shots, and it's tough.
Yeah, it's plus 220-1. It looks so great, but I mean, let's be real, right? About what these guys have to do to make that type of. You saw Rory missing a 3-inch putt for the fucking. I mean, that's a big putt.
2 of them, 16 and 18. I thought for sure I was going to the playoff, and DeChambeau, he just didn't have his game on Sunday, but he gutted it out. That was an unbelievable bunker shot he hit, especially those ones that are like 30 or 40 yards like that. Up the hill. One thing where he left himself was the uphill putt.
Yeah.
Mikey, Rory hit a great shot, but he left himself the downhill trickler where that was the shits, and he fucking it was a tough
Always
watch. You know, it's one guy I want to hit on, and he's the best player in the world, Scotty Scheffler. Look for him with he's just 5 under. There's not value, but when he goes down, I think it was a couple weeks ago, the PGA, I took him top 10 when he kind of fell off. He got arrested. And then he fell off. I caught his top 5 at, I don't know what, not crazy, but at like 4-1. And he had a great, decent Saturday and a great Sunday. Just look for him if he slips to jump on him. Like maybe he makes the cut tomorrow, but jump on him because he's just that good and could go that low, especially if his putter gets hot because he's not a great putter. And if he's just decent, the stats show, he'll win like he's doing this year. He'll be just the number one player in the world to be unbelievable. Just to be okay, putting. That's how. Just basically average. Yeah, it's insane the stats with him. That's how good of a ball striker he is.
Yeah, I love that play too. There, especially I know on Sunday, especially when you've got the 2 windows for baseball, right? You got the early and then the afternoon, I guess, if you look at it, and then there's not really much going on once they kind of set off, and that's when the boys will start firing the text back and forth. Live bet this, live bet that. So there's great value live betting. Strategically, like you said, when these guys pop out of position, you can come back after it. Just especially if you see them on a little cold stretch. Maybe they've been playing hot and they got back-to-back bogeys. Maybe a good time to see about what that guy can do to get in the top 20 or the top 10 again and get some of that plus money. So lots of opportunities to do that. Dog days of summer, just try to bring some different things to the surface that maybe we don't get enough time to talk about because we're talking and grinding in all these other sports, but a great way to make some cash, top 10s, top 5s. And even take some sprinkles on those outrights, but manage appropriately. We're not trying to get look, you want to go hit the bomb and drop everything you got on, Besenhout plus 5,000, more power to you. I do not advocate doing that, but I do like that top 10 quite a bit for this guy. Not even to mention the top 5 plus 750 is still a really strong payday. So, C-Mac, we found a way to get through a nice hour together talking 3 sports in play, but we covered a lot tonight. I thought it was good work. We even covered this soccer game between Canada and who was it?
You did that one. The golf, I can talk with you all day. And maybe people don't love it, but hey, it's money to be made. And I think, we might tune some people out with the golf, but hey, I love it.
Listen, that's it. We'll kick over the rocks to get paid and let you guys know. I mean, this is what we're doing. This is where we're putting our money. We'll tell you guys about it. Maybe somebody hasn't thought about it before, C-Mac, but tell them what you got going on, my guy. What's going on with you in these dog days of summer? How fucking hot is it in Vegas right now?
Yeah, it's even tough to go play golf. If you do, early morning here has been good. Yeah, 110s here in Vegas. We're full go. Summer, I saw today it was the first day of summer. I thought summer started 2 weeks ago, especially when you live in Vegas. But yeah, it's hot. It's hot as all hell. And I got a bunch of shit to take care of. I got some things coming down a little bit down the pipe, doing some things. So we will see in the next month or so. But just check me out. Connor Mac Picks. Hit me up on X. And same thing with Mikey. Do us a favor for all the stuff we put out. Just hit the like, hit the retweet. I don't really ask for too much shit ever. I think doing this stuff, and when we're on the show here, we talk about hitting the like, Mikey. And the people that aren't subscribe, but just do that. Maybe not all the time, but it goes a long way. I really, really appreciate it. That's it, my man. Let's get it today.
Well said, my guy, and appreciate everybody rocking tonight here. Keith says, hit the like for Mike and C-Mac, getting all the juice you could out of this short slate tonight. Well done. And Phil the Kill says, I didn't expect to hear unless his putter gets hot tonight, but here we are, he says. So maybe Phil the Kill likes a little golf talk in action here. Sancho, Yankees need 13 runs at the bottom of the 9th. That game is officially over. And Phil the Kill says, I love top 10 golf bets. The only way I can get down with it. He also says that that live NHL show had me cracking up. Y'all, I'm late bit, but had to mention that. I might have been intoxicated. I might have been intoxicated. I might have been
couple cocktails.
Couple cocktails and the only guy on the Oilers Island out there, and we were pumping all the oil out of that while we could. Subhuman Gaucho, my guy, go out and check out First Strike over there on Sports Money. The boys put together 4 plays in 3 fights over 2 MMA events, both the PFL and the UFC. So get it while it's hot. Shout out to Subhuman Gaucho. J Stone 9 JPZ in the house. Cameron Sinet. Let's go. Nasty Nate, a.k.a. the mechanic. Look at this guy. He's got himself a wrench. Guess who's got a wrench? C-Mac. It's Nasty
Wrench.
Nate. Kelly D. Wine Time.
Wow, the king of the wrench? You gave him a wrench?
Guy's got another one here. We had to give him the 18
This
millimeter.
guy's fucking wrenching, man. You gotta see a set of wrenches.
Shout out Wine Time, Kelly V, Gerardo Hernandez. Appreciate all you guys that came out tonight. I know it was a short slate. Sitting around, kicking it with you guys. Love hanging out, talking sports with all you guys, hearing what you guys are on, and sharing angles and edges, things that we learned. Kelly V shouting out about how great Baltimore does on Thursdays. Those are the kinds of things that we want to take away. Write them down, bank them, so the next time we can get paid on them, guys. Until tomorrow, good luck with your bets. Enjoy this hot, steamy summer night.
D Slayer Ski. Good to see you, my man.